New Orleans, a city of mystery, magic, music, and murder. Behind the wrought iron balconies and cobblestone streets lies a history soaked in horror, and none is more terrifying than the tale of Madame Lalaurie, a woman of high society with a heart of darkness. What happened behind the doors of her lavish mansion on Royal Street would shock the world for generations. Today, we're diving into the terrifying true story of one of America's most sadistic women. Delphine McCarty was born in New Orleans around 1787 to a wealthy Creole family. She grew up with privilege, status, and a silver spoon in her mouth. Married 3 times, her third husband, Dr. Leonard Lalaurie, gave her the name that would live in infamy. By 1831, Delphine purchased a stunning 3-story mansion at 1140 Royal Street in the French Quarter. It quickly became the place for elite gatherings. But behind the glittering facade, something truly sinister was brewing. Servants came and went, quickly, quietly, and mysteriously. Neighbors began to whisper about screaming at odd hours and enslaved people who seemed terrified. Delphine was even seen chasing a young girl across the balcony with a whip, a 12-year-old named Leah, who tragically jumped to her death to escape punishment. Although local officials investigated, Delphine's status and charm kept her protected for a while. April 10th, 1834. A fire broke out in the mansion's kitchen. It was started intentionally by an enslaved cook who had been chained to the stove. When firemen arrived and tried to search the upper floors, the Lalauries refused to give them access. But what they found next would haunt them forever. Hidden behind a locked attic door was a torture chamber. Inside were over a dozen enslaved individuals in unspeakable conditions. Inside the attic they found no less than a dozen naked slaves, both men and women, chained to the walls, locked in dog cages and strapped on medical tables. Body parts were strewn about, eyes torn out from their sockets, mouths sewn shut, and genitals had been sliced off. One man had a hole drilled into his head to expose his brain. A stick was jammed inside his cranium as if it were some sort of gruesome medical experiment. Some were barely alive, some were already dead. When word of the horror spread, a mob of outraged citizens descended on the mansion. They destroyed everything they could. But Delphine? She vanished, escaped in a horse-drawn carriage, reportedly aided by her wealthy connections. To this day, her final fate remains a mystery. Some say she fled to Paris and died in obscurity. Others claim she returned secretly and lived under a new name. One cracked tomb in New Orleans even has a plaque that suggests she's buried there. The Lalaurie mansion still stands to this day. It's one of the most haunted locations in America. Paranormal investigators, tourists, and ghost hunters report unexplained screams, footsteps, and chilling encounters. Nicolas Cage, as mentioned in my previous video, owned the mansion briefly, but sold it after claiming it brought him bad luck. The evil Delphine left behind doesn't just live in the history books, it lingers in the walls. Over the years, legends around Delphine have grown, some fueled by fiction, like her portrayal in American Horror Story, Coven. While many of the torture claims were documented by witnesses at the time, some of the more extreme tales, like jars of human remains or heads in the garden, might have been exaggerations by an enraged public or the press. But let's be clear, there's enough verified horror to make her one of the most brutal figures in American history. Even in the early 1800s, when cruelty was widespread, her actions shocked society. What drives a woman of wealth, power, and privilege to such evil? Was it sadism, a deep-seated hatred, a twisted curiosity? Some believe she suffered from severe mental illness. Others think she used torture as a form of control or dominance. We may never know the full truth, but we do know this. Her name became synonymous with cruelty. She wasn't just a monster of her time, she was a symbol of the darkest side of human nature. Today, the Lalaurie mansion stands as a reminder of what can hide behind beauty, status, and wealth, a chilling legacy carved into New Orleans history, where the screams of the past still echo in the shadows. So next time you're walking through the French Quarter and you pass that grand old house on Royal Street, listen closely, you might just hear them too. Thanks for watching. If you found this story chilling, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Do you believe the Lalaurie mansion is truly haunted? Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and don't trust everything that shines.